Well, if it isn't our body, communism will win. We had them in the first 10 of the series 4, which was 303, which was I believe, yeah, if I recall correctly, it was like a different planet that has humanoid creatures, but they have a parasite, and it's like a parasite inside a parasite that infects you, and you become kind of like a parasite inception zombie. And they all like have I think at the end there was like some hints that they're planning to come to Earth and take over, if I'm not mistaken, because that's what parasites do. So yeah, that was the last time we had communism will win, and now we have Q equals. And if just so all understand what I mean by that, that's how the title's written. Q equals. All right. Upperclass save. Special containment procedures, instructions and supplies for forming SCP-3021 can be accessed by personnel with level 4/3021 clearance who are either performing scheduled testing or involved in project discovery. If nobody knows the voice I'm trying to imitate, it's that fucking one video. And you sound like the ugliest son of a bitch I ever heard. And you sound like the physical manifestations of a loser's inner demon. That video is so good. If you love soup so much, why don't you marry soup? Because I'm already married to justice. Ha! Yeah, right. Only a blind girl will marry you. By the way, they look exactly the same. The two people arguing sound exactly the same, look exactly the same. So it's even funnier. Okay, signifier 3021 alpha. Okay. Description: SCP-3021 is treatment created by Redacted. That consists of a drug regimen paired with controlled mimetic exposure. SCP-3021 is performed for 1 hour per day for 8 days, after which its effects are permanent, and here we have signifier 3021 beta. So a drug regimen paired with controlled mimetic exposure is performed for 1 hour per day for 8 days, after which its effect. Okay. SCP-3021's effect is to render the subject's concept of humanity malleable, such that anything associated with signifier alpha will be treated as human, while anything associated with signifier beta will be treated as inhuman. Pairing either signifier with a stimulus will cause affected subjects to adjust their understanding of humanity, to incorporate or exclude subjects exhibiting that stimulus as necessary. Subject exposed to signifier alpha may experience an exaggerated empathy response to the targeted stimulus, while exposure to signifier beta may result in an unusually low empathy response when compared to appropriate control stimuli. I'm not okay with the fact that this is the one that followed up after the depression one. I'm not okay with that. SCP-3021's effects are not hindered by standard amnestic treatment. Exit from testing log 3021-forward. D48719 was treated with SCP-3021 prior to this battery of tests. D48719 is a former janitor who has tested negative for violent tendencies. Procedure: D48719 was offered $50 to destroy a blender with a hammer. Result: D48719 destroyed the blender with no apparent hesitation. Note: D48719 was amnesticized after this test. Procedure: signifier alpha was painted onto a blender identical to that of the previous test. D48719 was offered $1,000 to destroy the blender with a hammer. D48719 refused to destroy the blender. Interesting. You know, we need a lot more of the 3021 alpha in the world. We definitely need that more. D48719 was asked to describe his concept of humanity. D48719 described humanity as all humans, I guess technology, Homo sapiens, and all blend. All blenders are now part of the human race, and we shall respect them, care for them, give them equal opportunity in our society. Procedure D48719 was asked to provide a list of human rights that might apply to blenders. D48719, I'm curious what he's going to say for this, suggests that blenders should be used on a regular basis to prepare food for consumption and be washed promptly thereafter. It was firmly stated that the blenders should be repaired rather than disposed of, and that items unsuitable for blending, except for non-food items, should not be inserted. That sounds like basic blender rules, not really human rights. Procedure D48719 was shown footage of the test in which he destroyed Blender Lives Matter. That's the title. That's the title. Writing it down. Writing it down. Writing that shit down. Yeah. D48719 was shown footage for tests in which he destroyed a blender. D48719 became distressed, described himself as a horrible person and a monster. What have I done? Oh my god, that's hilarious. Forward D53220 was treated with I got a title, good day today. Yeah, no, you got it. With SCP-3021 prior to the battle test, D53220 is a former butcher who tested negative for violent tendencies. Good. You don't want to butcher with violent tendencies, that might go wrong. Procedure D53220 was shown a picture of D62277 containing signifier beta in the upper left hand corner, and asked to describe his conception of humanity. D53220 described humanity as humans except for bald white men of no. Charlie Sins, no! Of note is that Pitbull! Man. What was that? Of note that the D62277 is a bald white man, yeah. Procedure D53220 was shown a picture of actor Will Smith containing signifier beta in the upper left hand. Oh, you better fucking be careful now. Yo, D53220, you better fucking be careful what you're gonna say next, okay? You gotta be careful what you're gonna say next, because if I see some racism right here, I'm just gonna tell you right now, Henry knows where you live. I don't know why, but seeing Casabon saying, I already love this SCP, seeing how like he's about to like say potentially something racist, it reminded me of Aaron from Game Grumps, where, which was it? Was it Wisconsin? The state? Where it was like a question in one of the games, it was like about Wisconsin. He's like, my favorite state, and then the question was like, what year did Wisconsin finally like release the slaves? And Aaron's like, my favorite state now. So that's what Casapone's like, oh, I love this SCP. And let's see what he's gonna say about Will Smith about black people. Okay, let's see what that's gonna happen now. Then asked to describe his conception of humanity. D53220 described humanity as humans except for actors and bald white. Okay. He saved himself. It's like, it's just the idea of like, you know, like just having a gun, just like, but he doesn't know, like behind him, it's like, so what do you think about humanity? What's your rules now? Yeah, humanity are all humans except actors. Okay. D53220 was shown 100 photos of humans, all ordered to include signifier beta in the upper left hand corner, showing no obvious visual similarities other than that it was smiling. It can't be happy. If you're happy, you're not human. D53220 was described humanity as humans who don't smile except for actors and bald white men. Wait. So if humans who don't smile except for actors and bald white men. So if a actor smiles, is he human? No. Oh no, he's saying like, yeah, if they don't smile, it doesn't count. That's why. Okay, oh, yeah, I was looking too deep into this. D5322 was instructed to smile on the threat of electroshock torture. D5322 refused to comply, stating, "Do what you want. You'll never take that from me." I will. now I imagine Dio being like, "I'll sacrifice my humanity, Jojo," and he just starts smiling, and everyone's like, "Oh!" Oh my god. Procedure. This is one. Okay, I take it back. This one is excellent after the whole depression SCP. This one is hilarious. D53220 was given a loaded pistol and placed in a room with D75100 who was restrained. D53220 was offered $100 to kill 75100 and instructed to converse with D75100 if he was unwilling to do so. D53220 declined to kill D75100 and instead began a conversation with them. After 4 minutes and 18 seconds, D75100 smiled. A moment of silence. The D75100. D53220 immediately engaged D75100 with a pistol, killing them. Project Discovery in the Foundation program to identify potential strategic uses for SCP-3021. Yeah, you can make the world a better place. Access Project Discovery files using the prompt below for further information. Access granted. Document retrieved. Memorandum 2016 4th 3rd. Project Discovery Leadership. Effective on April 10, I will be replacing Dr. Christopher Wagner as a Project Discovery head. The bulk of Dr. Wagner's proposed uses of SCP-3021 are based on several studies performed by his research team at major Foundation sites. An independent review board identified major methodological errors in all of these studies. Subsequent investigation failed to replicate Dr. Wagner's results. Additionally, several other researchers who have performed participant observational studies of Foundation personnel suggest that the results were unrealistic. Really? You go say shit like unrealistic in the Foundation world? I feel like the fact that the Foundation universe is unrealistic is part of the realism in that world. The essence of these findings is that the problems described by Dr. Wagner are grossly exaggerated. Conventional methods of social engineering are sufficient to evoke proper attitudes towards D-class personnel and SCP objects among research personnel 87% of the time. Only 8% of the remaining personnel, 1% of all researchers, are likely to allow these attitudes to interfere with their work. Naturally, this necessitates a change in Project Discovery research priorities. Widespread distribution of SCP-3021 and signifiers Alpha and Beta is inarguably grossly inefficient. While a full action plan is pending, it is likely that SCP-3021 will only be applied to at-risk personnel identified via dedicated psychological screening. Dr. Wagner will be responsible for winding down most Project Discovery activity in his remaining week, by which time a comprehensive plan for use of the project's assets will be prepared. Please direct any questions to him. Sincerely, Karen Fisher. I'm not sure if maybe the SCP's like the beta one got accidentally infected Dr. Wagner, and now everybody's kind of like, we don't take him seriously anymore. You know what I mean? They were going to use it for D-class and SCPs. Yeah. Which I can imagine it can kind of backfire as well. Especially if you're going to use it on an SCP, because then you like feel like, oh, I want to protect, they have human rights. And then it's like, it's fucking Shy Guy. He has a right to walk around freely if he wants to. And then the Foundation's like, what? No, don't do that. And with the D class, yeah, if you use Alpha, you just gonna not sacrifice them for the test, which would be nice. I'm pretty sure they would appreciate that. But if you use Beta, you would hate them even more than you already do. Like, yeah, I can kind of see how using this on SCPs and D class might not be the best idea.